Have you ever been in a May December relationship? Where there's a significant age gap between you and your significant other? On today's podcast, I'm going to share my thoughts about a May December relationship, as well as what are some benefits and what are some red flags you should look out for should you choose to get into one. Stay tuned to hear my experiences on this topic on today's Dear Single Women's podcast. Hello, ladies. Welcome. Welcome back to the Dear Single Women's podcast. This podcast is for single women who are healing, growing, living, and loving their lives on their terms. I'm your host, Shanintra, and I thank you for being here with me. I'm going to ask that you take a second to make sure you're following the podcast on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, wherever you are listening to this. Just take a second and hit the follow button. Thank you. And also, please rate the podcast. Make sure you are subscribed to the YouTube channel. Make sure that you share with a friend, because I'm just looking to get more subscribers, more followers, more listeners in here. It is a motivating factor, to just keep going, keep using my time, my effort, my energy into this thing. It does help when you see that it is actually benefiting someone and people are listening in. So thank you for your support in doing that. And let's jump into the content. So I asked in the beginning, have you ever engaged in a May-December relationship? Which, if you don't know, May-December signifies the age gap in a relationship between two partners, right? So May, mid-year, December, end of the year, there's a gap between the two. And relationships, usually when we say May, December, we're most of the time talking woman being younger, man being older. And so I wanted to share what I think about that. I was curious what you guys think about it as well. So make sure you leave some comments for me so I can read and get your thoughts on this topic. So I have actually almost engaged in a May December, and I have kind of engaged in a May December. I met a guy on online, and he was about 15 years older than me. 15 to 20, I think. Probably, I think he was closer to like 20 years older than me. So that was very interesting. And then I also my little situationship, the guy it wasn't as long as that, significantly less older, but still older. And it made a huge difference in terms of life stages. He was about almost 10 years older. So I do have some experience in this area. And my thoughts are, they do have a purpose. They can be good for you as a woman, but there are a lot of things that go into place. There are a lot of parameters. There's a lot that you have to be aware of, and you got to make sure that you protect yourself, because they can easily turn from something that could be beneficial to you to something that can really harm and hurt you. So I don't think age gaps are inherently a good thing or a bad thing, because there are benefits to dating someone closer in age to you. And then there are also benefits to dating someone older than you. There are things that could work against you if you're dating someone older than you. And then there are things that could work against you for dating someone your age. So I'm pretty neutral on if they are a good or a bad thing. Both have benefits and both have things that can be detrimental. I like to think more in terms of maturity versus age. One thing that women tend to do, we tend to get caught up in age. Well, he's 15 years older than me, so he should be more, have it more together, because you hear that guys mature slower. So you're like, well, he's older, therefore he should be more of where I am at this point. So you date a lot older. But then I'm pretty sure if you survey women, a lot of time they'll tell you that is absolutely not true. Dating someone way older does not automatically equal to maturity level. And I experienced that with the guy that was 20 years older. Definitely older, but not really as mature. And so I think it's not a hard and fast rule that older men are more mature men. A lot of time, oftentimes, men are just big boys. You are still dealing with the inner child who is just a grown man, so it's not cute anymore, right? Um, so it's important to test maturity level versus age. And with the guy that was almost 10 years older than me, he, not perfect, but he did have a level of maturity, and it was demonstrated in his life that he is a mature person and more aligned with where I am. And so that age difference was never really a problem, never even was brought up, because we were both aligned in maturity. So I think that's definitely something that's important to consider when you consider getting into a May December. Don't focus on age, focus on maturity. What are some things that you see that lets you know this person is at a different stage in their life, they're at a level in their life that can match with where you are in your life? Because women do tend to be more mature. Women do tend to take on a lot more, right? If you were big sister, you are more mature because you've grown up probably taking on duties and tasks that would have been fit for your parents to do. But you're the big sister, you took on a lot more, you care a lot more, you grew up a lot faster. You have a maturity level that you need to make sure if you're dating someone older than you, they can match where you are. So, of course, some of the benefits of dating someone a lot older than you is that you may be more aligned in maturity level and maybe in goals, right? When guys kind of reach a certain age, they tend to be more serious, more introspective, um, more thoughtful about where they are in their lives. We're probably doing that as women, probably like around 30. Men are kind of having those conversations around like late 40s and 50s, like, okay, where am I in my life and what are my goals? And so if you're dating someone and you're in your 30s and they're in mid 40s, or even, early to mid 40s, they're probably starting to think that way, and that's a way you were already probably thinking. So you tend to be more aligned in terms of what your vision is for your life. But a negative to a May December relationship is that a lot of time guys can't get that age out of their head. It's weird because they're attracted to it. They're attracted to younger women, right? Because younger women equal what? They still have all their faculties, everything still works, still fertile, still youthful, still have their beauty about them, still, all of those things that are attractive to a man. Younger women still have it, and still have it to a large degree. And so they're drawn to it, but at the same time, a lot of times they struggle with the age difference, because who is this young girl telling me this? Who is this young girl? They have a hard time seeing you as an equal. And so that is a red flag. If you're with someone in a older man and he cannot truly accept you for who you are, then that's a red flag. That man's not mature, that man's not ready for May, December, right? It's not always the woman who's like, oh, is this the thing for me? A lot of times guys are not ready for that either. So you need to evaluate, are you ready for this? Can you handle this? Can you handle a woman 20 years younger than you telling you about yourself? Can you handle the fact that I have such a strong mind and a good head on my shoulders at this age when for you at this age you were a knucklehead running around, right? Can you handle that? A mature man who can handle that is ready for a May December relationship. So a way that you can know he's not ready if he's constantly bringing up the age difference. I experienced that with the guy that was almost 20 years older than me. He would say, I'd say something, and he would pivot to the age thing, and either telling me how young I look, because I already don't look my age, right? So I'm already 20 years younger than this guy, and I don't even look 20 years younger. I probably look way younger than that. So there was already that, and then I have a good head on my shoulders. And so it was just like, oh, when you were born, I was blah, 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 ha, 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 ha. Like, you're not ready. Constantly bringing up the age difference, that means it bothers you. You're not ready. You're threatened. You're not ready. And so it can be covert in a way like that, or it can be overt, straight up belittling you, talking down to you, and using your age to justify it. Oh, you're immature because you're this. You're so much younger. You don't know the world yet. You got to experience some things. That tough love feeling. If you're in a May December relationship with a guy and he's giving you that tough love, oh, I'm just keeping it real and I'm just being tough with you because I want you to be better. And he uses the fact that he's older than you and he knows more, so they say, that is a red flag, huge red flag, right? Because not only are you older than me and you have a problem with it and you can't handle it, but then you're weaponizing age. You're weaponizing something that I cannot change, and you're using it against me. We don't do tough love over here. Not with anybody. Not the healing, growing woman who's loving to herself and expects other people to be loving to her as well. We don't do tough love over here. We encourage each other in kindness and in community and in support. So don't accept that from anybody, right? You wouldn't accept tough love from anybody else. You even have to stop doing it to yourself. Why in the world are you going to accept that from your lover? Absolutely not. You build me up by encouraging. If there's an area where I need to grow, it could be connected to age, but most likely it's probably connected to life experience. Because you can be young and have experienced some things, okay? But you can, a lot of time, it could just be simply life experience. Okay, I haven't experienced that yet. I haven't done that yet. And if I'm with an older guy, what an opportunity for him to come alongside me and show me a part of the world that I've never experienced. There's opportunity for unity and growth in a May December relationship, but the guy has to be mature enough to handle that because it's a very delicate balancing act. You are older than me. You can teach me some things. You have maybe more life experience than I do. But how do you relay that in a way where I feel like you're someone who wants to help me grow and be better versus someone who wants to school me and train me? Because I'm not a dog and I don't need training. So it's very delicate. A benefit, honestly, to a May December, and this could be like kind of controversial to say, but you tap into that natural instinct of a man to provide, protect, take care of, right? The same way that he would feel like doing that for a child, it doesn't mean that you're a child in his eyes, but you tap into that same thing that you want to tap into as a feminine woman. As a feminine woman, you want to be taken care of, you want to be provided for, you want to be protected. You want a man that's like, I need to stand up for her, I need to be there for her. Because in doing that, he recognizes that you're the prize, right? We guard diamonds, jewels, gold, money with our lives. Many people do. Many people will guard those things with their lives because they have value inherently just by being themselves. Is value to it. So it is with you. So a guy who like you bring that out of him, that desire to protect and provide and bringing all that naturally out of him is such a beautiful thing. And your age can even support you in that, right? You just he wants to protect you. He wants to care for you. And you're a lot younger than him and he wants to do for you. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. You want that anyway, even if you are the same age, but it almost like speeds it up, right? It draws out those emotions even more when if there's an age difference. So there's nothing wrong with that. Just like we as women, we want to care and nurture, and a lot of time we would divert that to a child. Care, nurture, support, and take care of. But we want a man that's going to bring that feminine energy out of us as well. And so it's not that he's a child, but he taps into something in you that makes you say, I want to care for him. I want to nurture him. I want to make sure he's okay. And it's the same that he does for you in terms of using that masculine energy to protect, nurture, care for, provide for you. So there's benefit to a May December because it's just kind of baked into the cake that you deserve that caring and that protecting and all of those things because he's a lot older than you and he can see that maybe more in you. And you, as long as you work it to your favor, make sure that the lines are clear on what your roles are. Make sure he's bringing that towards you, wanting to care for you and take care of you and provide for you, and not that the roles become reversed. That okay, well I'm older and I'm the man, so what are you going to do for me? Like, as long as you keep those things in check and make sure that he's clear on that you still deserve everything that you deserve as a feminine woman. There aren't a lot of feminine women in this world anymore. So if you are one, use that to your advantage. There's nothing wrong with it. Use it to your advantage. Guys naturally like women who are softer because they're harder, and yin and yang, it's a good counterbalance to each other, right? Nobody wants all the weight shifting to one side. I'm tough and she's tough, and I'm hard and she's hard, and right? So if you have that naturally, or if you've been working on cultivating that in yourself, by your self-care and all the other things we've been talking about on this channel, on this podcast, use that to your advantage in your May December relationship. Make sure he remembers you're still the prize. Because that can get lost in any relationship, but especially in one where the guy is a lot older and he thinks, well, I have options. If I got you and you're younger, then I can get someone just as young as you. I can get someone older than you. I can, make sure he remembers you are the prize. Thank you for listening in, ladies. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I look forward to seeing you on the next episode of the Dear Single Women's Podcast.